everybody. How is it Friday again? I know I say that every week. I'm sounding like a broken record, but that's just kind of how I feel. And next week, we don't have a Friday as far as the course is concerned, but I'm going to put out individual videos for every class, and that will probably be in the next week or so. So just popping on to say hi, give you an update, see how everybody's doing. Doing okay. So, a couple things I'm going to get right to this because there's a bunch of stuff I want to cover here. I sent out a survey. You guys are probably being surveyed to death, but I sent out a survey earlier this week with just a couple of questions on it, and I wanted to comment on some of the responses that I got from this. First of all, one of the overwhelming sentiments that I gained is that you guys are just done. Many of you are just done. I'm done too. I get it. Enough of this online. Okay, we did what we needed to do. It was kind of an emergency. So for those of you, several of you said, I don't have any motivation. I'm just done. I hear you. Keep on. We got a week and a half, 2 weeks left. We can do it. We can get through this, and then you can do whatever else you had planned for the summer, obviously within reason. So just get that stuff in. Get those papers in. Study for those exams. Whatever you need to do, get it done. And then it's so close. It's so close. Don't drop anything. Get this stuff done. Okay, a couple other things from that. A few of you mentioned, please keep the grades updated. I'm doing that. All the grades that I have are on Blackboard, but I acknowledge that there are some things that are ungraded. The papers are going to take me a while. I've got one more class of exams to do. Grading is very difficult for me because of all the reading on the computer, and it takes forever. So every grade that I have for you should be on Blackboard. If you think there's a mistake, please email me and let me know. A couple people, I'm trying to find something to put my feet on. A couple people mentioned just needing some reassurance in this whole process. So hopefully just saying we're gonna get through this. It's almost done. Email me if you have questions or concerns. You are not bothering me. One or two people said I don't want to bother professors. That's what we're here for. That's our only way to communicate right now. We can't, catch each other in the hallway or before class or whatever. And I did not realize until this event how much communication takes place that way. So you are not bothering us. I want for everybody to have information, so please email me. A couple people said I just need flexibility. I've worked really hard this semester to try and do that. So I appreciate your need for flexibility. I think we all need flexibility. So, a couple other things, just business-wise, that are important for finals. A few people asking for finals. You need to let me know by email if you plan to take the class final versus the alternative, because when I post that class final on Blackboard, I'm only going to make it available to the people that are going to do it. I'm not going to make it available to everybody. So you only need to email me if you're going to take the final as an option. So that's that. Some people were asking when it is. I will have more information on my Sunday night email to you, but the final is going to be at the time that the registrar sets. So look on your syllabus for whatever class you have, and if it's like Thursday morning at 8:30, that's when the exam will be available, and it will be available, all exams, for 48 hours, and then you will not have a time limit on taking it, but I'm only going to make it available for 2 days. If that really causes a big problem for you, let me know. But the reason I'm just making it available for 2 days is I just need to get these things done and graded. But you will not have a time limit on it. A couple people said, do I think we'll be back in the fall? So our President Hassler, did a town hall this week. And yes, we'll be back in the fall in some form. We don't know a lot of things. It's going to depend on how things evolve over the summer, what the governor decides to do. But I can tell you that they are preparing for every possible contingency from A to Z. And the three possibilities that she threw up to us were, we're back as normal. That's probably not real likely. The dorm situation is an issue. It's hard to imagine at this point everybody packing the dorms and packing classrooms, but who knows? We just don't know. The second scenario is a completely online format, like what we've done. Hopefully that will not happen. But then the third scenario, and I think it will be some variation of this, is a blended environment. So there will be some online work and then some in-person work. So it might mean meeting a time or two a week, or a few times during the semester. We just don't know. So what I can tell you is that the administration is on this. And I was really pleased, they have applied for all the federal money that's available. They should have contacted you all about refunds on your room and board. From what I understand, that has happened. So if that has not happened, you need to contact the business office. Give them a call. They're the ones that would handle that. So we'll be back in the fall, but we probably won't know till later this summer what form it's going to be. Okay, so finals, talk about needs. I just wanted to answer some of the kind of fun questions when I said ask me anything, some of the more fun questions that you had. People were asking me about my summer plans. I don't know, what are your summer plans? I had planned to go on a short cruise with my son and my best friend and her son, kind of a mom-son thing. That is out. I had planned to go with my family to Key West and do some sailing and some snorkeling. That's probably out. So right now I really don't have any plans. I'm just like you. I'm just waiting to see what happens. So I'm disappointed, but it is what it is. Let's see. My favorite question. Do I think Carole Baskin killed her husband? No, I don't think she killed her husband. I know everybody thinks that she did. The reason I don't is because I just don't get sociopathic vibes from her. Now, the hallmark of a sociopath is their ability to charm and fool other people, for sure. I know that. But I don't know, it's just a gut feeling I have, and I may be totally wrong, but I don't think she killed her husband. I have no idea what happened to him, but I don't think she did it. So maybe I hear they're reopening the case, so maybe the truth will come out. That was my favorite question, whoever asked me that. Somebody asked me what my favorite food is. My favorite food is donuts, but I'm gluten-free, so I can only eat gluten-free donuts. I try not to, but that's very difficult. What do I like to do in my free time? I'm going to find that out this summer, because I've always kind of combination worked for the last 12 years, my free time has revolved around my son and his activities. So given that some of those may be slowed down, I'll find out. I love to read. We like to ski as a family. We like to go sailing. So I'm not crafty. I don't have any of that kind of ability. So I'll find out. And then a couple more professional kinds of questions about work and graduate school. People were wondering whether they should try and work after they graduate with their bachelor's or go right into grad school. What did I do? How did I decide that? The really short answer is, and if any of you want to have a long conversation with this, I would be happy to. But the short answer is, I always knew I wanted to go into psychology. And so it was never really a question for me, and I went right into graduate school. But that's not for everybody. If you are finishing up your bachelor's degree and you really don't know what you want to do, graduate school is not a good idea, because graduate schools and graduate programs are looking for people who really know what they want to do and are ready to focus on that area of study. So my recommendation is, if you don't know, take a year off, work, figure it out. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to get into a job that will pay for you to get a master's degree. You don't have to go to graduate school, and you don't have to go to graduate school in psychology. Some people are perfectly happy working in bachelor's level jobs, and that is awesome. So how do you know what kind of graduate school to go to? Again, if you don't really know, don't apply. Don't just kind of put applications out there, throw stuff against the wall, and see what sticks. My biggest recommendation is to talk to people, talk to professors in areas you're thinking about. Do a lot of research this summer on graduate schools. And the other thing is, it is not going to hurt you to take time off. There is not a favoring of students who go right from college into graduate school. And the reason is because if you take some time off and do some work, what that's going to tell graduate schools is that you've really invested more into knowing what you want to do. It doesn't hurt you if you're going right from college into graduate school, but it's also not going to hurt you to work as well. So any other questions about that, check with me directly. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about that. And then there was an interesting question, this is the last one, that said, does being a clinical psychologist affect your mental health? That's an interesting one. It does not. I get this a lot. Seeing clients, is that hard? Does that bring me down? Does that affect my mental health? And the answer is no, because I've been doing this for a long time, over 25 years, and I don't take clients home with me in my head. I'm able to leave them at the office, and I've got that boundary set up pretty well, but that's also something that you learn. And it was more difficult when I first started, but you will learn how to do that. I suppose it affects my mental health in that I'm aware of what kinds of symptoms to look for in myself and my family. I try not to get overly concerned about it. I guess the one thing that is hard for me sometimes is if I feel down or I feel anxious about something, and absolutely I do, I'm just like everybody else. I sometimes am harder on myself about that because I know ways to try and deal with that or get out of it, but you can't always do those for yourself, you know? So I have the exact same feelings that everybody else does, and I struggle with the same things that people do. And that whole physician heal thyself sometimes works, but it doesn't always work. So there are times I have to reach out to a friend or other social supports to help me. So I guess that's the answer to that. Okay, I've rattled on long enough here. Just let me give you encouragement again. Let's finish this up. Let's finish the semester up strong. The one last thing I want to say is that I know a lot of you are worried about grades. Let me tell you that I am prepared to be flexible about that. That doesn't mean that if you don't do the work, you're still going to do okay. You still have to do the work, put some effort into it, put your best effort into it. But I also I know what the circumstances are. A lot of you have talked to me about the kinds of situations you're trying to work from. I get it. So trust me to do my best with that information. I'm not going to give a person a grade that's not deserved, but I'm also not going to hold things against you. I've been very flexible about deadlines and things like that, so I will continue to be flexible. So be encouraged. I miss you guys. I'm going to send every class an individual video next week, just kind of wrapping things up, so be sure to look for that. Have a good weekend.